Daniel Jones over Anthony Richardson. You know how they say bad organizations stay bad by making stupid moves over time? We're here again. History is repeating itself. The Indianapolis Colts are not a good organization. Take Peyton Manning's ability to make it amazing and wipe it away. You're right back at it again with another quarterback issue for this team when they pick Daniel Jones to be the starter over Anthony Richardson in Week 1 for the 2025 season. Yes, they both could be turnovers machines, but there's a problem here. One is the future, the other is a stopgap. There is nothing special about Daniel Jones. There is nothing amazing about Daniel Jones. Everything Daniel does, Anthony Richardson does, plus some. So let's discuss it, because I know where you're going to be upset about this, but let's break it down so you can understand why Anthony Richardson is the correct decision. Now, last year, we had Daniel Jones sitting here at 2,070 yards, which was 28th overall for quarterbacks in the season. Anthony Richardson only had 1,800 plus yards for 33rd overall. Both quarterbacks struggled to do their thing. Both quarterbacks struggled with accuracy, which we'll get to in a minute. But what we have here is two quarterbacks that are mobile, two quarterbacks that have struggled passing the ball in their respective offenses. So what we're looking at here is we know what we have with Daniel Jones versus what we actually have with Anthony Richardson. We don't really know because he's played less games than I've been on this earth in college and the NFL. It makes no sense to me. We're going to go through a few of the stats here, and I'm going to kind of break down why it's more important. Let's go with the yards per attempt. We have Daniel Jones with a 6.07 yards per attempt. You know what that lands you? 54th in the league. 54th. That's what you want. There are 32 starting quarterbacks. 54th is what you want? Let's go to AR. Anthony Richardson over here with his yards per attempt. 6.87. That's 37th. Yes, still less than the 32 starting quarterbacks. But guess what? It is better than Justin Fields, a starting quarterback right now, and Patrick Mahomes, probably the best quarterback in the league right now. You swing it over to touchdowns. They equaled that one out. They both had 8 in the season. Interceptions, one didn't blow the other one away. Jones had 7. AR had 12. Neither of them did a great job with protecting the ball, but Jones was a tiny bit better. Now we're going to move to first down throws that move the chain. And we have Daniel Jones, who had 106 of them to move the chains for 26 overall, with Anthony Richardson, who had 73 of them, which was only 37th overall. So you got a little thing that's helping Daniel Jones here. And maybe that's why they leaned a little bit towards him, because the offense was sputtering and stopping due to not being able to move the chains. But in that same thought pattern, we're going to sack percentages now. And you have Daniel Jones, 7.5 sack percentage last season. 29th worst. 29th worst in the NFL. You have Anthony Richardson, a mobile quarterback, which they are both mobile, but Anthony Richardson chooses to use his legs more, doesn't fear when anybody runs through the A-gap on him, with a 4.7, 53rd worst. 4.7 is a lot better than 7.5 with sacks because, yes, incompletions can stop drives, so can turnovers, but so do sacks, especially on long third downs, which is something that Daniel Jones will get more often because of his lack of yards per attempt. But we're not done here. As a quarterback, you need to be explosive. So let's go into deep throws. Daniel Jones was the 31st overall quarterback in this one with 31 deep throws. Anthony Richardson, 49 deep throws, 15th overall. And we're talking about a guy who missed games here. He may not be accurate. I get it. We're going to get to all that in a minute. But his ability to give you explosive plays, that's how you keep up with these Joe Burrows, these Lamar Jacksons, these Patrick Mahomes. Yes, even Justin Herbert's on that list. Josh Allen's on that list. You got to be able to put points on the board for it to matter. And Daniel Jones is a quarterback from an old style of football, a run, and never throw interception football game. Now, that's worked for one team lately, and that's the Philadelphia Eagles, who have A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, a crazy defense, Dallas Goedert, Saquon Barkley. The Colts have talent, but they don't have that talent, so they need explosive plays. Now, we're going to look at catchable throws, and this is where AR is probably being sat because of his issues. Daniel Jones had 75.1 catchable throws. That's 33rd in the NFL. Anthony Richardson struggled mightily with this. 71st overall in the NFL. 71st. That's wildly insane to me, with a 63.6% percentage of catchable throws. That's wild. That's no good. He's got to get that up. Hero throws, though, where you're looking to make a great play over 20 yards, all that fun stuff. Jones only did that 2.3% of the time for 52nd best in the NFL. You know who the fourth best was in the NFL? Anthony Richardson at 7.2. Again, he adds a level of explosiveness that Daniel Jones just won't add for you. And now we're looking at turnover worthy throw rates. And again, this is probably what threw AR into the issues. Anthony Richardson has a turnover worthy throw rate of 6.1, which was the fifth worst in the NFL, where Daniel Jones was 29th with 3.2. All these stats say one thing for me. They say that this is a coaching staff and an organization who are just scared. They know they're on the hot seat. They know there's a possibility of them getting fired. They are afraid to do the work with the guy that they drafted in the top 5 a few years ago. So they're panicking. And panicking managers in football and in real life, if you work for anybody who had a panicking manager who does things because he's frantic and nervous, does it ever work out in real life? It doesn't change differently in the NFL. When you panic, when you move off fear, you lose. You cannot be fearful of the fact that, yes, Anthony Richardson has an accuracy issue. It is below league average. It is very Tim Tebow-esque. May my love for Tim Tebow rest in peace. But Daniel Jones was also below the league average. So if they're both below the league average, and Daniel Jones takes sacks, and Anthony Richardson doesn't, and Anthony Richardson gives you the ability to have explosive plays, and Anthony Richardson is mobile, even though Daniel's a little mobile too, and you don't lose a young quarterback and a franchise where all the fans, every fan, I think there was I cannot remember the person right now, but I swear if you just go to Twitter and type in who should start week 1 for the Colts, there's a poll. Your fans, 89% of your fans said to go with Anthony Richardson. You're alienating the young quarterback. You're alienating your fan group, but that's okay because you made a scared decision. That scared decision usually gets you fired. Shane Steichen, you're more than welcome to come back to Philadelphia and help out on the offense when you get fired. But unfortunately, you sealed your fate with this. You're going to be able to get Anthony Richardson in best ball right now, almost free. And I mean, very last pick of the draft. And he could be a league winner if you have guys such as Justin Fields and Matthew Stafford. If you have guys that you don't really trust, like Jared Goff, or you don't know what's coming with JJ McCarthy, he needs to be your third quarterback if you're going for a 3-quarterback build, because once he gets in, and I promise you he will, he's going to put fantasy points on the board for you. They start with the Dolphins, which is pretty easy, but then it gets hard. Pretty sure they got the Chiefs, they got the Rams, they got the Titans. And I want to say the Broncos, but don't quote me on that one. But they start off with a gauntlet, which means Daniel Jones, you're not long as a starter in the NFL, buddy. Anthony Richardson was the move. The Colts made a mistake yet again. Let me know your thoughts on it. Tell me if you agree, disagree. Tell me where you think Anthony Richardson could end up, because that's the next fun conversation. Talk to you guys soon. Good luck with your fantasy leagues.